So let me create a new task now. Okay. Let's see, repair. And we're going to assign a due date to it. Okay, and we're giving ourselves until that time. And there, that quick, we now have updated our to-do list. So the big question is, so what? What just happened there that you can't do in Outlook?
Sure.
Yes, the boss can know. The downside of that is the boss could be the one feeding the tasks to you. But the important thing is, let's just look at a scenario. There's a client, a manufacturing client in the city of Cleveland that I know that Kevin has been to, probably the other guys too, Steve and Mario. I've been there as well, okay? I go there and I do my work and I update our records in SharePoint. Kevin goes and does his work and we update our records in SharePoint. When he's sitting there in his Outlook client, he doesn't have any idea what I did. He has to go to the SharePoint side. Now luckily they're young and flexible and very bright. They can handle that with no problem. But what would really be nice is if this information was tied to the customer record. And Dynamics CRM gives us the ability to do that. We have the ability to tie almost all of our activity to an account record. Okay? And that brings up the very next difference in Outlook versus CRM. Okay, over here in my personal workplace, which if you think of having an employee that has limited duties, they have the area where they do their work, and we're ignoring most of these things for the moment, but we also have accounts that we service and contacts. Okay, the contacts look pretty similar. They have a little different view, but even in Outlook you could get this view, this list view. All right, but here's a big difference now. In Outlook, does anyone have a solution for gathering all the customer contacts into one way that's easy to manage for all of them? For example, in Outlook we worry about people as contacts. We don't have an entity for a company that I'm aware of. So there's no parent container. There's nothing to group them all up. And chances are our names are going to be not in sequence by the alphabet. So that's not going to work that well. The good thing is that you have the same suffix on your email address. So that's one way to do it. But then we're using maneuvers, is what I would call them. So Dynamics CRM introduces the concept of an account. And an account, in the most simplest way, is a company. And what we're going to do is we're going to have companies and we're going to have contacts. And to me, that sounds like pretty accurate real-world modeling. Let's just take a quick look at the information that we can have in a company record. Okay, again, I am impressed with the user interface. It's clean. It's kind of square, which a database guy very much would like. But there's little navigation buttons down here. I'm sorry, they call them links in this version. Okay, so we see that we have different categories of information. We have the general, where we track the information about the client. Okay, this is interesting. I never saw Outlook talk about money before, so we know something's different here. Okay, the idea being that we could use it to start to market and to manage our goals and things like that. Some people I know that are very heavy into marketing, you know, that's the way they think. That's a $50,000 opportunity. That's a $15,000 opportunity. Here at Simplex, we tend to be more, here's an issue that we could help a client with. You know, the dollar amount isn't nearly as appropriate as is it in our skill set. So that field wouldn't be that valuable to me or George as a CPA. You know, I don't know if you sit there and go, well, that tax return is going to be for a corporation. So that might not fit, but certain companies, this certainly would. And the thing we have to keep in mind is that any given product from Microsoft is really meant for the masses, regardless of your duties. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm scrolling down here and looking at the different areas. Aha, here I see my 3 contacts that are tied to Jogga Lake Amusements. Okay, so right here I can get a little bit of a grip on who's who. Okay, we also have this new category, notes and activities. It looks like there's a little delay from the wireless connection. Okay, so I'm going to add a new note.
Excuse me, Doug.
Yes.
You're showing 3 contacts to Joggalate, but you're also showing owner. Is that you as the owner? You're the owner of that record?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. And to be quite frank, doing a demo is not that easy because it's borderline impossible to present something in a linear or sequential fashion that's completely logical to everyone. And I always start out doing it to what's logical and linear for my mind, but then once you start typing, it's funny how much goes out the window. Thank you for pointing that out. Yes, contact records, company records, all records can be owned by an individual. They could be reassigned to another individual. Again, that's where the boss is going to come in on this. And it's the foundation for the security and dynamics. None of the security is turned on this version of it. I'm sorry, this implementation, Simplex is. But the fact is you could restrict it very well. I had the demo set up so that I could log in with 2 different users and show you just their records, but I ran into severe problems with the Windows Live ID this morning. Okay, so, yes?
To follow through with what you just said, so as being the owner, you give permission to persons within the organization that are also users to edit
Yes.
information. So everybody can view, but you only give permission for editing purposes.
Yes, yes. There's a variety of roles that you could do. One is to allow them to read the data only. Another is allowing them to edit it. Another is transferring ownership to them, and they can do whatever they want with it.
Just like the Outlook version.
Yes, yes.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay, so this is nice. This is something that's very nice. And I realize this might be a snail's pace to some of you, but the thing is, this is exactly the problems that I have in day-to-day. Where do you put the information so that someone else can use it? How do you let the boss know that this is important? Well, they're giving us the tools here to do it. We just have to get used to them. Okay, so let's just take a quick look back in Jogga Lake, and I'm expecting that note to be there. There we go. Okay, so the good thing is other people can see the note as well. All right, one very nice feature is the ribbon. Is anyone using Office 2010 on your desktop? How about 27? Okay, so we all had to face the ribbon. And the ribbon was crushing the first time because it didn't make sense to me. And here it was just another menu. But what you'll find is the ribbon here changes based upon what you're trying to do. So the items that are listed here will change based upon what our context is or what we're working on. Okay, let's go in and take a quick look at a contact record. Okay. Okay, we're going to save this record. That was pretty simple. Okay, the thing is she's not associated with the customer at this point. That's another topic that we have to realize. Besides having organizations now in Dynamics CRM, we also want to link our contacts to these organizations. So it was asking us here what the parent customer is. And in this case, I'm going to put them on Jogga Lake again. Okay, now all I'm doing is going back to the accounts here, going into Jogga Lake. And in the contacts, we now have more of them. Okay, so that's something a little bit different that we have to do. We have to associate our contacts with the entity, but if you buy into the idea of the company record, that shouldn't be that hard to do. Okay. All right. This is a view of data. And there's actually a lot of views hidden behind the scenes. I'm sorry, let me step back for a minute. Okay, Microsoft understands that we're all going to have a learning curve as we go through this. One of the things they're doing, which is kind of nice, is they're actually putting help right here in the program. Now in the Office applications, there's usually a little tiny question mark, or maybe the File Help menu I could hit. It takes me to another screen and I can't see the screen anymore. This isn't all that bad. The thing is, the context of the help here might not be what you're looking for, but at least it's a good effort, okay? And they're even going to give you the ability to launch videos and things like that. Well, at this time we want the screen real estate, so we're going to get rid of it. This is known as a grid, and what's being presented in it is a view of data. Okay? I don't mean to insult anyone, but I didn't know years ago, so I'm going to say it. All right? Data in a database is structured. Just think of the phone book. Every record in the phone book has a phone number, a street address, and at least some semblance of a name. We can't say it's structured enough for first name, last name, but it's got some semblance of a name. Okay, that's structured. When we look at the data that comes out of a database, we have the ability to shape it. We have the ability to make it look the way that we want to. One of the most common things that we do is we combine the city, state, and zip fields when we're displaying it on a report. Okay? Along the idea of a database, all the data in dynamic CRM is stored in a database, either at your site or in the cloud. This is a view of the data, which implies that there are other views. Okay? I don't have any inactive accounts. But right here, we have the ability to quickly switch between different views of the data without jumping through a bunch of hoops. Now contacts is a lot easier because I have that set already. All right, we see that Ben is inactive, but without leaving the screen, we can just quickly move around and see that.
Can you customize the views?
Yes, you can. In fact, right here in the settings tab, sorry, I'm not seeing it.
That's okay.
Yeah, anyhow, the settings tab is where you customize. Yeah, right there. Okay. All right, so this is the online version that lets us do certain things. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the Outlook client. Okay, normally in Outlook, we have our inbox and we have a bunch of folders over here. Okay, I have that represented here with my email account. And that looks like most of our email clients. Okay, notice this right here and this right here. There is a free add-on called Dynamics CRM 2011 for Outlook that you can install, and I have it installed on this laptop. And what it lets you do is use the native Outlook client, the one that comes with Office, Office Professional, and the one that we use every day to actually interact with the data out there in the cloud. It's very nice. It gives us a slightly different interface, but it gives us our CRM built right into our Outlook client. So back here, remember how we had the My Work section where I'm supposed to be hanging out and knowing what I need to do? Here it is directly within the Outlook client. I'm just trying to switch back to the other one real quick. And here it is over here in the web client. Okay, the great thing is what we do here goes over there as well. Now here we have the ability to have additional tabs. I think that's a very nice feature. Tabs have been around in dialog boxes for years. We also have the ability to pin them so that they're always available anytime you go there. We have our preview pane, just like we always do down here at the bottom. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. It's not
No, please, just sing up.
Your thought. Are you able to then just disregard Outlook altogether and use Dynamic CRM as your email client?
I can't say that with 100% certainty, but the Outlook add-in for CRM is optional. The only reason I can't say with certainty is I don't know. There has to be some feature that doesn't exist there, and hopefully it's not important to what you're doing. But from what I see, the functionality is all there.
Well, I guess where I'm going is Outlook is going to be resident on my computer.
Yes.
And if I'm somewhere else and I don't have my computer and I want to send and receive emails and have them automatically connect and attach to my contacts and accounts
Yes.
in Dynamic CRM,
Right.
and I do that right from Dynamic CRM.
Yes. Yes, you absolutely can. Yes, you can use the web version, and whatever you do there is going to show up in your database, which is actually what the Outlook client is reading as well. Yes.